So the whole album set was like gone in like 30 minutes. It was gone.
The Beethoven Symphony would be 12 sides.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got an old Victrola I inherited from my grandparents, and got a bunch of old 78s, Waltwood, not Waltwood, something, all white metal.
All white metal,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, the foxtrots and all that stuff.
Yeah.
My buddy Chip, whenever he had people over, he was one of those guys who loved to host parties. He was a bankruptcy lawyer that got out of the legal business and got into the pipe business, but it was kind of a retirement job. He didn't really need to be working, but he was doing the pipe thing because of how much he loved it. And he used to, he'd have people over his house every opportunity he'd get, and he'd lay out.
I was
As
very
far as
glad
I'm
that he
concerned
won.
personally, Olivewood
I like to see a
doesn't
guy
tend
in
to
the
report
series
much
of
of
what
a
I didn't tell that story.
Yeah.
We had the slow smoke contest
it-
last night, right?
The year before I
It's a
won.
little bit difficult to get a good cable
So
on,
cabled her
Okay.
hair.
and you have to break them in very gently to
Okay.
get a good char. You end up with, basically with an Olivewood pipe, you end up with more of a char lining than a cake lining.
Okay.
And then once you get that char and it's a little rougher inside, you'll start building a cake.
Yeah, you'd think it would. Uh-huh.
Slowly, but they build a cake much more slowly than a briar.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. And then my mortas,
Comes over to check the
I
bowl.
found them very difficult to build cake in at all.
Oh.
And morta, that's another alternative to briar. It has its own characteristics.
Right.
In there just smoking wood.
It's basically mineralized wood.
Yeah, but it can be oak, it can be any kind of
It
wood,
can be any
right?
kind of wood.
Right.
Oak is the normal one that morta is.
Right.
Bog oak. It can be any kind of wood that's laying in a bog for 4, 5, 6, 7,000
20 years
years.
old.
And basically what it does is it trades off its molecules for mineral molecules.
Ah.
It switches it back. It's in the process of petrification, but it is not
You can't buy it.
petrified,
Okay.
mineralized.
The
Okay.
thing is, the
And,
FDA,
Morta is a lot like
really
working,
strictly look at the
pure
rules the
carbon.
FDA put in place.
So whenever you're turning it, or carving it, or sanding it, or grinding it, or filing it, it's more like
It's
working
like
with a giant
consuming
pencil
beer
lead
mud, pardon me.
Wow.
than working with wood.
It makes no sense what
It has a granular structure when you look at it.
Uh-huh.
You can see the granular wood, it's there,
independent pipe.
but you cannot rely
They're
on
arguing over
that
assault weapons with age, you know.
its
Not only
strengths and
that,
weaknesses.
I got a lot
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So normally, when you have a piece of briar, or a piece of olive wood, or a fruit wood,
Mhm.
you're gonna want to align
What's
the
the
grain in a
best
specific
12-mile
direction
limit?
so you get the
Some
most
states
strength.
exempt
Okay.
It's property.
military.
Yeah, the strengths for
California said active military.
where you need them, like in the shank.
It doesn't apply. That's so crazy that they can tell
Morta, it doesn't work.
He can go and fight.
You orient the grain wherever you want to orient it, because there is no granular
Yeah,
strength
something a
left
little
in
off
it.
about
It's
that.
Well,
almost pure
I've always
carbon.
said that.
Wow.
And now they were talking about Morta.
I've said that about.
Morta, generally, if you're gonna make a corner pipe, it needs
It's
to be
like,
fairly
okay,
beefy.
you can go and kill people at
The
18.
shanks tend to
Foreign
crack.
countries.
Yeah.
But
Is
That
it
again,
is it heavier?
no, it's lighter.
Lighter. Really?
Lighter.
Huh?
I've
It's
seen the
very-
California.
Yeah,
sticker
it's
about
lighter. It's very
cancer
light.
and all that.
That big
I've
black
seen them on
poker of
Facebook.
mine.
Yeah, right.
Have you ever handled that?
No, huh?
That thing's 50
I don't
pounds.
know.
Wow.
I've seen it on tour.
It's big.
Mm.
So this is the same thing at briar, maybe 55, 60 grams.
Mm-hmm.
Nautical sharks.
I feel like it's lighter.
When I get those in cartons, I buy them a dozen of these.
Doesn't build
There's a
cake well.
warning label. California has determined that something in
There's
this.
zero break-in on mortar,
Well,
really.
it's probably a glue or
It's
something. My
probably not
goodness, you
carbon.
know.
Yeah. Okay.
Patrolling
So
the-
you're making carbon in carbon.
Well,
Right.
I'm saying,
And,
yeah,
it doesn't
then why don't
import
they just
flavor.
outlaw
Mm.
fireplaces?
I have noticed
Burning logs,
sometimes
burning
though,
wood or
if you
whatever
get a
you're
little
burning,
hot, you can
Obviously,
get kind of
I mean, that makes sense too, if you want to
interesting
follow that
nutty
line of reasoning.
finish.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's coming from the mortar, not the tobacco they're smoking, because I can smoke that tobacco in another pipe.
Right.
And not
But
get
it
the
just
nutty
doesn't
finish.
say why we
Oh.
want to live in
Whereas
California.
with.
I'm glad I don't live in California. I'll be healthy for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I don't know where
It's a
that's
shame
coming
because it's got
from.
probably the best climate in the whole.
I really like
Yeah.
long wood.
I always thought
It's
Santa
another wood that I really
Till I
wouldn't
heard about the
necessarily
water
build a pipe
situation.
from. and
Right.
Gift to
Santa
someone.
Cruz.
Uh-huh.
Mainly because of
Very
the weaknesses
expensive.
of it. It's one of those,
but the
even if you
water
have a
is like
fairly beefy
ration.
shank, if you've got it in your back pocket and you sit on
Oh, yeah.
it, you're likely to break.
Yeah.
Briar,
It needs to be. They're running out.
sit
I
on
mean,
it
they're
all
sucking
day
all the
long,
way
no problem.
from the northern Colorado River.
Hmm.
They're eyeing the
But you look
Columbia
at it,
River
you
where
can't
everything's
rely
out of
on the
hand.
direction of the grain for
All they
moving.
want to drink that
All the
water.
farmers
You would think.
on the other side of
It's
the
basically
Sierras
more
in
just-
California, they can't
You
farm
cut it for
because
what
they
you
take
want
all
to
the
see in
water
the
to
rain.
go
How
down
you
that
want to see the rain
California
run.
aqueduct
Right.
in LA.
And you
Yeah,
know,
But it goes down to malls and
and
golf
I've seen it
courses.
crack
Yeah.
in any direction
Put all those
across
restrictions on
through
farmers,
with,
but all these
but every dozen
farms,
farms.
they
But
can't.
Generally with my
every
mortgage, I
hotel's
tend
got a
to,
fantastic fountain, golf courses all over.
I'll do
And the
like
guy
a
who wants
military-
to farm or raise cattle.
Oh,
where you have
okay.
your metal,
Miles up.
Right.
metal,
You want to see a really,
water
really good, entertaining
to,
movie all about
strengthen it, that way you don't
Lost
have
in
to
China.
have to have quite
Yeah.
so beefy
With
a
Jack
shank.
Nicholson. That's exactly what
Uh,
happens.
Yeah,
and then
that
when I
one was
turn it
Diverting
down,
water from the farmland.
if I'm not gonna go with the metal band, and I'm gonna go with an acrylic stem,
30s, Mulholland.
I
went in
tend to turn the stem a lot
But
looser
if you go to Mono Lake.
initially
some
than
of
I
these
would with the
reservoirs
briar
are
pipe.
just
My briar
tremendous.
pipe's usually nice and tight.
He's getting
You know, they squeak pretty much.
Drive
Right.
I-5
They're
when you
pretty stiff getting together. With a
lakes
mortar,
up there near the border.
they just slide right together.
And you go there during
And
the
I
summer
haven't
season,
noticed with
and
wear
the
that the
boats are high and dry,
changes. I mean,
drop is
it's
a
almost like
Shasta
having a
Lake,
Delrin
yeah.
insert
Yeah,
in
Shasta
it.
Lake's the most.
Stays
it's
nice.
Scary.
It's like
And
butter.
yet the
Yeah.
population's
Doesn't squeak.
growing by the hundreds of thousands.
It's
And they're
almost
building all
like
kinds
carbon
of
is its
apartments and
own
houses in LA
self-lubricant,
County.
kind of like graphite.
Right.
Barbara
You know,
County.
That would make
one
sense,
thing you have to be
right.
really careful with a mortar pipe.
They are
If you're
trying to
making
restrict
your first one or
landscaping.
you're making
You
one,
can't legislate
is
that.
Yeah.
Well,
when
that's I mean, it's a problem we have.
you're fitting the
Somebody
stem
wanted
to the
bring-
shank.
Somebody wanted to bring
make
in
sure
some real
you
high density
prep the
housing
shank,
in
the
the
inside of the
10
shank
Is
first.
where
So prep it. How does that work?
Okay,
You know,
normally
drive
like
from
with a
Phoenix to
briar,
Tempe,
when I drill the
that's like
shank,
driving from Seattle
done.
down to SeaTac.
Mhm.
I might clean up a little bit if there's a little bit of
But somebody wanted to
roughness
build
of
Right.
of the shank.
inexpensive housing.
I might clean up
in St.
around
Pete,
that
since
with a
there's
little
huge
pick,
service
a little
infrastructure in St.
sandpaper,
Pete,
and
the
you might run
university there.
something down in
You
there
know,
to
you need
clean it up a little bit.
apartments for all the dishwashers.
With a
and
mortar
cooks and
shank,
managers
you
and
can't
drill
no
that
taps.
baby.
No
looks
taps, no
really
bath,
good.
no shower.
Well, but
feels
somebody
good.
wanted to fight him because
But
of
you
water
need to
usage.
prep it.
But
You need to prep it.
meanwhile,
You need
a
to
quarter of the
face the
property in the
surface.
valley.
No, I'm not talking about the face this way.
Yeah.
I'm talking about inside.
So how do you do that?
So they only come down.
I take a small dowel,
Okay.
and I roll
but their lawns are irrigated.
emery cloth around the dowel so it's
Oh.
round.
The exterminator
So that
is- comes by
it's not gonna
12
give me a
months year.
taper.
So there's
And then
all
I
of
just
this
very
water and all of this
Oh,
money that's
okay.
just dumped out
Run
over
it
the
around
town.
and
Smooth, 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 yeah.
Smooth, 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 smooth. And the reason is it looks
the malls
smooth,
and the resorts and the golf courses.
but
Not only
I
that,
guess
but, you know,
microscopically
the last
it
time I
probably
flew out
isn't,
of
because
Burbank
if you take a
Airport,
mortar shank and
20
you
years
don't prep
ago,
it and then
just
you
look down.
cut your
Every
tenon
other house
and
has a
everything
swimming
fits
pool.
nice,
Every other house
after a
has
while, if
swimming
somebody's
pool.
done a lot of left and right
And
turning,
Right.
it
Which
will
areas?
loosen.
Okay.
Every house
But if
has
you
a
prep it
swimming
first
pool.
and you smooth it
And,
first,
no one's
it
saying no
becomes
swimming
its own
pool.
self-lubricating
I mean, it's
surface.
nice to have.
And
it
you
on
don't have that
fire,
issue
but
at
I
all.
mean,
They're very
Yeah, I mean, the
robust
water
and
doesn't
they
circulate
last a
to
long
get
time.
from
I've not
Okay.
had any problems with it,
That's a lot
but the
of
only
water.
ones I've had
My
trouble
whole yard
with
is aerospace.
are the ones
It's
that
all
didn't
made
prep it.
of
I looked at it, looks good to me.
Right.
I've
Cut
got
the tenon.
I've got
Get it
Pakistani
in,
mulberries.
have everything
I've got,
working.
a
3 months later, maybe this is a little looser than you'd like it. And when I'm saying loose, I don't mean flopping and
but my
falling
yard
out.
gets nothing but
You
rain.
feel like a little.
Yeah, right. Sure.
But really,
You gotta have a
with
certain
the,
sense of self-gratification at my age.
Just
more
answered
down.
his phone when I go
you
down.
need to get used to a different feel when you put your stem in your shank.
Okay.
You know what I have to say to that?
Smoother,
He holds the phone
more
up.
delicate.
I have that problem until I get it. This guy was shipload of
Insertion.
shoes.
And then it's gonna rotate easier.
Sure.
Right.
Myself.
It'll do exactly the same thing as ink pipe. Once you start smoking it,
it's
gonna tighten up.
Right.
don't break it loose.
Ah, okay.
Because there's a risk of breaking your shank.
So you have to let it cool completely before.
Definitely should let it cool completely. Now, if you do a Delrin insert,
Mhm.
and you do a Delrin
Got quite a
tenon
diverse.
Right.
on your
A
stem,
lot of classes.
you don't have to let it
jazz
cool.
and stuff.
Mhm.
It gets a little tighter, but it doesn't get squeaky tight.
Yeah.
And you
But
can push pull.
then,
you have a problem.
as
Okay.
talking
If you don't do the insert,
in terms of
and you don't do a Delrin,
right after you fart on your
tenon,
phone, then you.
I got
then you
thousands.
really need to let that baby
Yeah,
cool.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is,
Not
it's
in our
pretty dramatic.
scope,
You
but
go
we have
from
a lot of
a
high-end
cool
people
mortar
that
pipe
bounce
that's
not
smooth as
red,
butter,
Mhm.
or melt tornado,
coming
or
apart, going back
a lot of
together. You smoke that baby,
Very
and she's
interesting
tight
to
like
see
a briar pipe.
kind of
Yeah.
records
And
that
you
Sinatra
just,
bought,
you
mostly
have to be
classical
careful.
stuff.
You
And
can,
some high-end,
like I said, you just don't have the
classic jazz
granular
stuff.
directional
No rock,
strength
no
that you
pop.
would expect or you would think is there.
Right.
A lot of
Because
customers like this long out of business, the
it
small
just doesn't
commercial,
exist. It's
small
more
stores
amorphous
like
Huh. Have you ever made an oak pipe?
Not oak.
I'm guilty.
I was thinking maybe it has to do with the grain of the wood that is the basis of the mortar.
I've worked with a lot of oak,
I told him about
and
that.
it does not
He
act like
turned the
that.
trade
Okay.
around, sold
It
me
looks like
Region
it.
D.
Yeah.
Region
But
2,
that's what I'm
Region
saying,
three.
is when
Never
you're
released in America.
looking at the grain,
Brian Bless is the
choosing its
greatest long
strengths
John Silver
by
ever
which way
put
the
on
grain
screen.
runs, it doesn't exist in the.
And
Okay.
I bought a
Not
Region
like
2
it would,
player,
though.
now
Right.
I want a disc that's
I've
only
worked a lot of
available
oak. I've
in
not-
Spain,
never
as
made
long
an
as
oak
it's in
pipe.
English, there are subtitles. Can't get it in
I've made
America.
alternative wood pipes like.
You know what's funny, though,
I
is
don't have
the
my
same
mahogany
way that-
here. Made it out of mahogany.
It's people my age and younger who are interested in pipes. Portland is overflowing with
Some of the fruit
pipe
woods.
stores, and the only people who shop
But,
in Fort College.
yeah,
But
that
they're
is the one
buying
thing
classic rock
about
and
more,
roll
it
on
does
vinyl.
not have
I mean, these stores have
The
humongous
reliable
classical sections. It's not rock and roll.
grain
I mean,
structure.
sure, there's a lot of classic
Still,
rock, a lot of
it's all
counterfeit
been replaced.
do all kinds of.
By
Molecular level, by
Well,
mineral.
Mineral,
that'll
yeah.
music is
Carbonite,
getting popular
basically
because
carbon.
even Apple Music
It also has a problem
just come out
of,
with a bunch
you
of
can
remastered
fairly
albums
easily
from
crack
Blue Note,
a
1950s
Yeah.
jazz.
Oh, a bowl. Okay.
Just go over to
So it's a little more like Meerschaum, maybe.
Selection of vinyl, I said,
They say
Yeah,
it
I
smokes
bought
a lot
this
like
symphony
Meerschaum.
recorder.
I've
Okay.
never smoked Meerschaum, nor have I ever made a
24
Meerschaum.
bucks
Oh,
for it
okay.
on vinyl.
But it's,
I
like
do
I
have
said,
a- I do have a
when you're
turntable,
turning
but I
it and you're
can't
working it, it's a
stomach- I
lot
don't
like
care what the vinyl,
having a chunk of
virgin
pencil.
vinyl, whatever. I'm not
Okay.
paying 25 bucks for a
Vinyl similar.
disc that I already owned on a disc back in the 70s.
The biggest
It-
bargain
it's
is
one of those things
Amazon
where
Music if you like classical
If you want a
music,
nice, smooth,
because I don't
mortar
know why,
finish.
but they have all these
you turn it on the lathe, you want to make
like
sure you leave a couple
100
millimeters
of the greatest
before
symphony
your final shape.
masterpieces for 99
Because
cents.
when you turn it on the lathe,
Yeah, but you
it's
gotta
going to
stream,
give
I
you a
don't
lot of
stream
tear out,
that.
a lot of sputtering.
Right.
Download them to your phone.
Yeah, I don't
So
have
what
a
you do is you turn the
smartphone.
shape you want,
I'm old school.
and
I
then when
almost
you're finished
didn't
with
get
that,
into
you leave a couple of
CDs until I
millimeters
had
all the way
it.
around,
nice.
and you finish it with files.
Yeah, I've got a good denim set. I
And when
wanna
you
get
finish
a
it
better
with
set.
files, it
But,
starts to get shiny and
I like,
glossy.
Okay.
I like holding
So
it
as you're
down.
filing, you
I
file
like the old
away
albums.
the
I
little
mean, you
bits
know,
of
the
tiny
12 inches.
microscopic bits
I
of
love
tear
those
out.
old
Right.
And it starts to look like plastic.
Okay.
That
They had snap
poker,
crackle.
Yes.
that poker that I've got, that's
Right.
nice and shiny.
But the sound was, if you
There's
had a
no
really
finish.
good
Oh.
turntable system, the sound was
There is
better. I'm not a big fan of digital music.
carnauba wax.
Mhm.
Buy anything that's
That's
not
where the
digital
bright
now.
shine comes from.
But particularly with the
But
classic.
it literally shines before you put the wax on it.
There's
If you
something
use really fine files.
not
So you
quite
start
right
with a
about
coarser
the
file.
sound.
So you turn it,
There's too much
you leave your
electronic
2 or 3
manipulation.
millimeters in the outside.
Yeah, what they
Well,
do
the old
is
days
You
they
start
had
with a coarser
they had
file
three-
and you start
three
working it down
speakers.
to
Yeah,
about the
the
shape
New York
you
Philharmonic
exact
or the
shape you
Berlin
want.
or whatever.
Then you start
You
finishing
need a
it
recording.
with
Yeah, the depth
finer
of the
files.
hall.
Yeah,
Generally end
okay.
up finishing with a
And
finer
a
file.
realistic
Uh-huh.
sound. Now, with
And
digital,
as
you
you're
can run it
making
through
your
the digital
stroke,
thing. You can
the wood is
manipulate
starting
all
to
the
shine
horn sound
Ah.
right in
and
the
polish
face.
while you're
And
Well,
just
that's what
not-
they do with digital
Okay.
is they get
So,
rid of all
and then
the
if
sound
you,
that
if
they
you don't
think
like
they
that,
can
then you
hear.
go back, you hit a little bit of sandpaper and it mattes it.
It,
Yeah.
it,
Sandpaper
it's not
is
just
matte,
that you
it
can't
gives a
hear
nice
it,
sharp
but
file.
it
get
has
shiny.
a
Okay.
Single
symbiotic
biggest Savinelli
effect.
dealer. The single biggest Savinelli dealer in the western third of the United States is Cargo Hold in Hillsborough.
Wow.
One reason for that, I think, is not that I'm a genius or anything. It's just that I tried a Savinelli for the first time about 10 years ago. I was a big English pipe guy until then.
Oh yeah, totally.
And when I smoked my first Savinelli pipe, it was like, this thing broke in like 3 pipefuls. Dunhills take me forever to break. The hell with that, get those off the table. So that's one of the main reasons I think we sell a lot. I'm very enthusiastic about the line. And I'm getting that way about Peterson. We're starting to get more Petersons, and the quality is starting to change a little bit for the better. And
Yeah,
they're
right.
starting to sell well as well.
Going over to the Peterson factory, like when we picked up Peterson, I will admit now freely, because when you're a rep, it doesn't matter who's in your business. When you're a rep, you never talk down somebody else's
Yeah, right.
product. And even if it's a completely legitimate, objective, dispassionate thing, you don't want to be the kind of person ever that sells their own stuff by
Yeah,
talking
right.
down somebody else's. So when I found out we were buying Peterson, it was kind of a, yay! Oh God! Oh no!
What happened to Dr. Graybo, right?
Yeah, right. Well, but I mean, Peterson's got a huge following. They're a respectable pipe, but they've had quality control issues for a
Distribution
while.
problems too.
And when we went over to Ireland, I know the other 2 sales reps aren't pipe nerds quite like I am. They wanted us all to get familiar with the brand, but to my mind, I was going over to Ireland to find out if Peterson was really ready to make pipes the way I think a pipe should be made. And I went over there going, oh man, this is going to be a train wreck. And by the time I left there, I was like, oh no, we're going to sell some Peterson. This is going to be great. This brand is going to come back. This brand is going to be, just the changes. We've owned it less than the paperwork was signed in June, but I don't think we actually established much of a managerial hold on it until the end of last summer. So we're only coming up into a year now of really having our hands on Peterson.
Right.
I think they're making twice the pipe that they were a year ago. And I think that there's still a lot of improvement that we're going to continue to make. I really, without changing anything about the brand in terms of what people like about it, without changing the look, it's still going to be a Peterson pipe, but the quality control is coming up. The drilling is better. The rustication is already 1,000 times better than it was a year ago.
I noticed that about there's a new line called the ARN, A-R-N.
Yeah.
That I just got in. Those are just head and shoulders above what they had before. That $100 price range.
Yeah.
They're grilled properly, got a nice matte finish on them.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah, that's one of my
We had
favorites.
to drop in price.
Yeah,
Everybody told us they've
exactly.
been coming up over the years, and what the biggest, as a Savinelli rep, I took a lot of shelf space away from Peterson because I could sell somebody a nicer pipe that was less money.
Yeah.
And so the other thing that we had to do with Peterson, in addition to bringing the quality up, is drop the price down, and that's quite the two-headed monster.
Right.
You know, you can slow production down and make super premium quality pipes, but you have to charge $300 a pop, or your volume's never going to cover your overhead. Or you can make production really fast and not care about what you produce, and that's a basket pipe.
Right.
You know, finding that place where you're making a pipe that you can really stand behind, where you're making it fast enough to still get it into the hands of somebody who's not buying, $500 and $600 pipes. That's a challenge.
Right.
But Peterson's getting better every day. I still love Savinelli. Most of my collection, I still own more Savinelli than I do anything else. But
I used to.
My cover 50 pipes
Years
has changed
ago, actually had a
from
woodworking company.
Dunhills, Convoys, GBDs,
Trellises and garden bridges and all that
Ashtons
kind of stuff. But I couldn't compete with
to
Chinese Taiwan
probably 75% 7
groups when they came.
Huh?
I've got a lot of Jubileos and Dunhills.
Are you selling those at the store? The higher end?
Oh yeah.
Are you?
We don't sell many $300 pipes like Joe mentioned, but it's nice to have them when that guy comes in the door that wants them.
Right.
But the bread and butter is $75 to $150.
I sell my garden bridges
90%
for
of the
$100.
Right. So,
Most guys are comfortable.
how about estate pipes? Does that affect? That must affect new pipe sales, of course.
eBay is kind of
I know.
taking that part of the business.
Savinelli's and Peterson's biggest competitor is their own estate pipes from 30 years ago.
Right.
And what makes that even harder is that the 70s and 80s were still boom time for the pipe industry in America. So in the 70s and 80s,
Really?
the pipe volume, the number of pipes sold in America was much, much higher.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Tinderbox, we were slinging pipes out the door a dozen a day.
Wow.
Easily.
Oh.
Maybe sell 6 a day now, which is a pretty good number compared to my competition.
And you're the biggest
Back in the day-
seller on the West Coast.
The price points were not all that different. They were lower, but of course, people's dollar was worth a lot more
Yeah.
these days too. So
Right.
$20 for a Savinelli or Peterson in the 1970s was a pretty nice high pipe.
Exactly.
Dunhills are selling for $75.
Right. Yeah. And those custom belts were
Find a Dunhill for
15 to 20.
But
Yeah.
the estate pipe thing, I find when I explain to people, especially new pipe smokers,
And they build machines.
estate pipes are fine. eBay's a great place to go. I buy pipes on eBay once in a while myself. But if you really want the experience of creating your own new pipe, you
Right.
buy a new pipe and break it in.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Savinelli's is a very quick break-in, and you get the pleasure of having the first pipe full of whatever tobacco you've chosen,
Now
Right.
not tasting like whatever that guy smoked in there last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't buy estate pipes at all anymore, just because I've had too many that had a ghost in them that I couldn't
A lot of them are
exercise.
ghosts.
Oh, really? Even with a salt treatment or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Sometimes what they even with that salt where they're at, can do to try to wreck out.
You can wreck your pipe,
Captain
or
Black's been smoking in there.
oh yeah,
You're never gonna know.
or a Lakeland mixture. That's really that's the most tenacious to me is the Lakeland.
Even a really strong Latakia ghost will fight you.
Yeah, but I'm smoking Latakia, so that
Well, yeah, that's-
not a problem. Yeah.
Part of the problem there too is I'm a Burley and Virginia smoker more than anything
Right.
else, and so I am, and I also have a very, very sensitive palate.
And I don't. I'm blessed to be relatively numb in the
This man
tongue.
here has driven custom built prices through the roof lately.
I saw that custom built you were smoking earlier, by the way. I've always wanted to.
Oh, that's a BP jump. So it's similar to a custom built, but
It stands for jumbo.
Oh,
BP
well, weren't
jumbo.
weren't those rolling in the same factory for a while?
well, nobody really knows. You know, Bill Unger wrote a book on custom built.
Yeah, because it's even got the mealworm custom built
Rustication, that kind of routered look.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even he did not come up with a real history of BP Jump. He recognizes them as being out there and being very similar and being of the same time period, but as the later ones. But nobody can come up with a history of them.
Have you seen the Savinelli Mega?
No.
Savinelli Mega 315 is a pipe you need to look at.
Really?
Because I got myself so this is an embarrassing story for your video here. I got myself a Savinelli Mega and lost it at Chicago 2016.
Oh.
Or no, Chicago 2018.
Oh.
Because I had too much to drink and I don't know where I put it down. But the Savinelli Mega, when they showed us the Mega, which is an EX, a super huge Savinelli
Yeah.
on a
Right.
short shank and stem, the 315 is the print shape. But because they had to scale it up, it's got this very boxy kind of nature to it. And when they brought those pipes out and showed it to us, the first thing I did was I picked up that 315 and I said, "My God, this is a custom-built scoop. I can't believe this is being made."
Yeah, right.
You know, it's even got a little bit of a chin because it's Italian. And
Right.
It's how Italian pipes
Yeah,
do, you know.
yeah.
I thought this is a custom-built scoop, right on, you know, right on with what you'd expect.
See, if Savinelli would make a big, bold billiard, short and stubby, though, this is a Chacombe. Yeah.
You need to look at a LaCorte 616. I thought that was a LaCorte 616.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of 616s, and I like them a lot.
So the LaCorte is a 616 with a short stem and shank.
Okay, I'll look for that. Yeah.
Is the Minster book still, is it in the public domain now, do you think?
Well, it's
Kind of copyrighted?
it was kind of a handmade, hand-printed kind of an
Because he'd
operation.
love to see that.
Oh, yeah, I've got a copy of it. Yeah, and I can bring it over to you, and then next time you're in or whatever.
It'd be cool to make a lot of copies.
It would. It would. It's probably copyrighted
I
still.
wonder if it's still
Yeah, I don't know.
hard to say.
Hard to
Just be
say.
pirates, guys. It's okay. I've been pirating stuff on the internet for years.
Yeah, right. But it is the Bible
It
of
really
custom
gives a lot of
built.
information
Yeah.
about Minster, how he got it started, how he lost it
Right.
at one point.
Spent a lot of time in there,
And then
and
became, who
their
was it bought the company?
Rich. You know, I'm kind of dim at the
Fairly big
moment.
outfit bought it.
Right.
The pipes were still good, but they were different. They had more of the rustication was more crisp, I think.
Yes, they are more crisp. I agree.
Whereas the Minsters were very kind of a
We should make a
soft
copy of
feeling
that
Dremel tool
for
sort of.
the archives here,
And they really are cool.
so that we have a copy for
I
people to
mean, you
look
know,
at.
I've always said the same thing.
Getting a
I
pretty
like
good
short,
library
yeah, I like
historical
chain.
pipe
I like a
Oh, really?
wide
material.
shot.
Okay, yeah,
So
I'll do
the
that.
scoop is almost. I see it in the same breed of pipes as Costello's Shape 55.
Right.
You know,
But they don't smoke as well as a billiard, as a taller shape. The wide.
Because of the
I
short.
like them. I like them. Well, see, when I smoke,
Well, you're smoking Burleys too, and Burleys smoke well in these. But I'm not a Burley guy, and so for me, they don't. I just like a taller bowl. It just combusts better, and
There's a chimney effect there or something.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Keep it.
one of the guys on the forums a while back put the theory that with both Burley and Latakia, the smoke creates a lot of the flavor. In Virginia blends, the water vapor carries a lot of the flavor.
Oh,
and so that
interesting.
the sweetness of the Virginia carries through the water vapor a lot more. And so the reason that narrow bowls seem to favor Virginias so much is because that vapor builds on itself on the tobacco. It deposits that sugar on its way down through the pipe. So the pipe gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter as you burn through. Where a Burley, which has very little natural sugar, you like a wide, shallow bowl because then as it burns through, the subtle flavors come out a lot more because you've effectively got a wider ring gauge. You're burning more tobacco at once, but there's less opportunity for the bitter tannins and so forth to build up on the tobacco in the heel of the bowl. And that might be completely BS, but it was a pretty convincing case.
I know,
they made for
it makes a nice theory, that's
It's
for
a
sure.
nice theory.
It's a good argument.
Yeah, right. Huh.
I always tell new pipe smokers to buy as many different pipe kinds as you can.
Right.
Figure out which one's your favorite, and then buy more that are similar to that favorite. Over time, you'll discover just what you want out of a pipe.
Yeah.
I like this shape.
Yeah.
This is my favorite shape. I've got probably a dozen of these.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Is that I smoke a lot of Virginias in these, and it's not really a tall bowl, but it is a shorter bowl.
moved here?
And I like it because it's extremely thick through the middle. So I can cup pretty good on a Virginia and not get it too hot. And it's kind of a thin wall billiards. You got to be really careful.
You do, yeah.
With the Virginia in there, otherwise you just end up with hot air.
Hot. Yeah.
Hot air is not
In the 70s,
Right.
bigger pipes caught on. In the 50s, you see a lot of those tiny, delicate,
Yes, those,
featherweight billiards.
and those K Woodies with almost Canadian thin
Right.
shank, and
60s and 70s, that's when we were talking before about Danish freehands.
yeah, right.
In the 70s.
And they got big.
Right. Well, and that's also when the Italian pipe really started to pick up, and the Italians. The Italians like the idea of opulence. We were looking at that 320 earlier, and the 320's got that belly on it, that sag. It's like the difference between an English suit and an Italian suit. An English suit is narrow, cut close to the body, narrow lapels.
Right.
You know what I mean? An Italian suit, even nowadays when narrowness is in fashion, an Italian suit still has wider lapels. The Italians hung on to double-breasted coats
Right.
15 or 20 years after
Right.
everybody else gave up on them. That idea of that extra material being that sign of opulence is a part of Italian fashion. And so Italian pipes, a lot of times, like this Prince has got that little belly on the front of it.
Yeah,
If this was
okay.
an English pipe, that would have cut up rounder, that would have cut up, that would have been
Right.
a lot more traditional. But even this delicate little Prince has that extra little gut hanging on. And that's part of that Italian aesthetic.
Yeah.
One
And
thing
I
we
drive
haven't
in
talked
it.
about is the mouthpiece.
Yes.
And Savinelli's mouthpieces are,
Yeah, I would.
if you like a thin mouthpiece, which I do.
Okay. See, and I love
They are the best mouthpieces I've ever smoked. A lot of your cheaper pipes have these big rounded
I wanted to.
mouthpieces.
yeah, I know.
They're very uncomfortable. in the mouth. So that's one thing I really like. I think that's a big part of the smokability of a pipe is the mouthpiece.
I agree.
What it feels like.
And it's kind of an underappreciated aspect.
A
Yeah.
lot of the artisan carvers, you know, these guys who sell their pipes for $1,500 a piece, say that they spend at least as much time carving the bit as they do the briar.
Right. Right.
And actually, that's one of the reasons I'm into Savinelli the way I am. Is they are one of the only companies that can make an acrylic bit that I think is comfortable in the mouth. A lot of guys like Vulcanite because Vulcanite's a little bit softer on the teeth. One of the big things about Vulcanite though is that because the material handles a little differently, you can make, even though Vulcanite's a softer material, it's got more tensile strength, so you can make a narrower Vulcanite bit than you can an acrylic bit and still have it structurally up to the task of being a pipe. Savinelli, for whatever reason, is very good at cutting acrylic very thin.
Very thin, yeah.
And so they can make an acrylic bit that I find very comfortable. I love Costello, and Costello's a very high-end pipe maker, but I can't clench my Costellos like I can my
They don't understand the
Savinellis.
mouthpieces. I have two Costellos, and I rarely smoke them. They're beautiful pipes.
Yeah.
But it seems like they just treat the mouthpiece as an afterthought. They make the nice pipe and then slap a mouthpiece on there. And you've got a $350 pipe with kind of a crappy mouthpiece.
Right.
I like Costello, don't get me wrong, I'm not bad mouthing the brand, it's a great brand. But another problem with Castillo is you can't find them wholesale.
Yeah, right.
Nobody's selling wholesale.
Sure.
Yeah.
So even if I wanted to stock a lot of Castillos, which I probably wouldn't, because the cheapest one is $200-300.
Yeah, like, and
We can't get a hold of it
Yep.
because
Right.
there's no importer.
that's how it
There's
goes.
one out
You know, he
there.
can talk about the Mark
Yeah.
48. He can talk
Yeah, I mean, I drive an Italian car, but it's that little Fiat out there, a little Abarth, you know. But to me, Italian pipes tend to be a little overstyled. But that's just a matter of taste, you know.
Depends on the pipe, Tom. So, because look at that. I mean, that's
Yeah, that's very simple.
Samuel Jubileo, and
Right.
it's just
Mhm.
the perfect little blend.
Right.
And it's just a classic. It could be a Dunhill.
I was gonna say, it looks a lot like a Dunhill
Could be a
does.
white spot.
Yeah, right.
Hold up that pipe in profile for the picture.
Of course I want to.
By the stem.
Of course I want you.
Oh, yeah.
Look at how close to a 90-degree angle this part of the pipe is, the chin of the
Right.
pipe. You see how there's an English pipe maker would have brought this curve down to almost 45 degrees and turned this into a rounded corner.
okay.
The Italian pipe maker wants that to look like a corner. They want that little extra. One of the things I love about Savinelli is that
Can't go in there.
Castello and a lot of the other Italian aesthetic came later on. Savinelli was the first Italian pipe maker, the first Italian pipe maker that made America and a lot of Europe realize that the Italians were capable of making something that wasn't basket product.
Right.
And because of that, Savinelli had to keep very close to traditional shaping. They were trying to sell Italian pipes to guys who only bought English pipes. They were going after guys like you. And so they had to stay close to those old English shaping conventions.
Right, right.
But even then, you can find those little, just the very subtle expressions of Italianness. You know what I mean? You can see just that little bit of Italian aesthetic worked into those very traditional
Right.
shapes. And that's part of what makes me get excited about old school. Like Dunhill wouldn't have made that.
Not in a million years.
Yeah, that needed an Italian pipe maker. You can see where that got its inspiration from a traditional pipe, but that needed an Italian pipe.
The Dunhill people for years talked about their pipes being superior, partly because of what they call the oil curing process, which
Right.
basically they boiled the Ibishans, the bowl part of the pipe, in vegetable oil. Like crazy, and if the pipe didn't explode, that meant it was perfect right. And then they take the pipe, they put it on a little stand. Go to the Dunhill factory in the old days, a room full of little tiny stands like this room, a bunch of little Ibishans sitting like this to dry out.
Right.
The problem I find with them is they're a bear to break in. It takes forever to break those pipes. And Ashton is the same way. It uses the same oil curing process. Now they find the pipes difficult. Once you get them broken in, they're good pipes. But it takes forever.
Now, Northern Briars seems to kind of bridge the gap between Italian and British. Seems
Right,
to be.
yeah. I've got 3 or 4 Ian Walker
Right.
from Northern Briars. Their price points are really attractive.
I would
You
love
get
to
pretty
go
nice pipe, $125, $150
And it's
from him.
basically
I got a big apple
blend
that I had it
all the
made
hatches
for me
are open.
with a white acrylic stem.
Yeah.
And the stem that looked like
But
baseball.
it's one of those.
Because I kind of like that retro idea that during World War II, hitting at vulcanized, so it could be Bakelite. And I love the pipe, and it's fairly easy to break in. I have no problem with that
And then
one. With Walker, you have to wait forever to get the pipe.
and then
If you order a pipe from Ian, it's going to be
and
6
it was
months.
like,
I'll let you know when the pipe's done. 6 months later, I get this email. Your pipe's done, Doug.
Yeah.
What pipe was that?
I ordered a pipe.
Do you have the fortitude for another bulldog?
everything, all the
smoke it, what I'm
was like
smoking right
now.
this tall.
Yeah, that-
Is that the Mars?
Now, I'll wait. I'll do it later. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
want to today, but I'd love to try it.
Pack it
Oh,
and take some
they're-
of that with you. That's,
I haven't tried the Mar.
They're
Is this the
lost
Mar?
open.
No, that's something.
Here's the Mar.
That's something I aged that I brought up.
Oh, really? That's your own?
So,
What is it?
All of this tobacco is my own.
Ah.
This all came out of my cellar.
Ah.
It's illegal for a company to give away free samples of tobacco, but I can share my tobacco with
Ah,
them. So,
okay.
I even
yeah.
have to send a dollar.
Oh yeah,
when I
they're,
get
they're all
that
fast.
free.
For each pack, right? Yeah.
You can see.
I have to buy it.
My dog
7.
joined the
Otherwise, I'm
So
breaking
she's
the law.
at-
Yeah.
all of this, yeah, everything I brought up with me today
So we
came
were
out of
down
my
on-
cellar.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to try them more.
What is this?
down there in New London.
That's fine.